One.
This is Shaun George, personal trainer from Stuart, Florida. You are watching GoTarryn TV.
Hey everybody, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Tarryn the Traveling Trainer out of Atlanta, Georgia. Episode 524 today, and returning to GoTarryn TV, as you can see, side by side, welcoming back all the way from Stuart, Florida, Mr. Shaun George. Shaun, how are you doing out there?
Doing pretty good, Tarryn. Thanks for having me back on again. Been a while.
Yeah, my pleasure. It has been a while, Shaun, and, I know we've both been kind of missing each other, and we just said, dealing with some kind of fall allergy, congestion stuff. You're just getting over something yourself. So it's great to see you back. But first and foremost, how have you been the last couple months? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, it's just been pretty much the same routine, pretty much with the working and training and home life. So nothing's really changed drastically or anything, other than that little sickness I was fighting there for a couple weeks or so. But
Yeah.
other than that, everything's about normal.
Good. I'm sorry to hear that. What was that all about, by the way? What were you dealing with? Was it just a common cold, or?
Yeah, I really don't know if it was just a common cold. I think that's all it really was. My wife had got sick, and then I did a pretty good job of not getting sick myself, and then she got rid of hers and then got it back again. And then when she got it the second time, that's when I caught it. So, yeah, it put me out of commission there for a little bit, but it is what it is, but I'm getting better, so that's the good thing, and it looks like you're getting better too.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I'm glad we're both hanging in there, and that's what I was going to talk to you about, because right now I have several clients out that are unable to work out. They're incapacitated because of just different things going on with your seasonal cold and allergies and such. But today's episode, for everybody out there, I entitled it Fall into Fitness. And the reason why I couldn't think of a better person to bring you on for this episode to kind of pick your brain and ask you, because I was telling you before we went on, Shaun, that, January 1st, New Year's resolution, you hear the themes like a new you, new year. That's when people wait. Well, that's when I'm really going to get serious about my working out. And people right now, what happens is research has shown that in mid-September, we're really going into the pitfall and danger zone where people are not going to the gyms, not doing their workouts, not eating right, because what it's leading into is kids are back in school, routine's the same, end of the year's approaching, and people right now in their mindset are thinking, well, we've got Halloween, we've got Thanksgiving, then we've got Christmas. So with all that said, we're just going to sit back and just ride easy. And instead of us, waiting till January 1st as trainers, as fitness professionals, the reason why I brought you on today, Shaun, is because let's go ahead and do a preemptive strike and, again, have our clients and have the folks watching fall into fitness. So first question right off the bat, Shaun, do you see this pattern yourself too? And the reason why I ask that, you're down in Florida where it's pretty warm and hot, so really your clients can't use the excuse of, well, it's just too cold outside to make it to the gym. But do you see this in general, like over the years, as a pattern with the kind of seasonal changes with people working out and then less gym activity around this time of year?
Yeah, the only thing I really see down here in Florida is pretty much the snowbirds, the seasonal people. They're gone back, but it's actually almost time for them to come back.
Oh, yeah.
So when they're gone, it can slow down business-wise down here. But I've been pretty steady, actually,
Good.
Which has been worked out pretty good. But in terms of other than the seasonal patterns to where people go back up north, I don't really notice any other type of pattern of any sort. It's just sort of random, just like the rest of the year, other than the snowbirds. It's just sort of like, people come into the gym and then maybe it's, dead for a little while, then people come back. So I can't put a rhyme or a reason to it, but that's about the only pattern I've picked up on down here in Florida.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Well, how do let's ask you we'll just go in order here. So with down up here in Atlanta, Georgia, we've got what's called fall break. As a kid going to school, I don't know if you could relate to me, but I don't even remember fall break. I don't think I ever had that. I guess it depends on, different states and such. But
Yeah.
I'm hearing from a lot of clients that, and again, this is just coming up in mid-October here in Atlanta, they're going to be going out, and, we had Labor Day, of course, already a few weeks ago, but now people are justifying, well, fall break's coming, so we're going to the lake, we're going to do a big grill out, we're going to barbecue, we're going to eat like horses, and we're not going to work out. And, again, we're all victims and guilty of going out and saying, well, this is my week off from working out. What would you advise to the folks who are taking off for fall break and going away, and when you hear, I'm not going to work out for a week and I'm going to eat anything I want and stuff my face, what's the best way to kind of combat that and say, hey, we're falling into fitness, here's what you need to do? How would you answer that?
Yeah, I pretty much just would say to think ahead. Hit the gym, get with your trainer if you're working with a trainer, but think ahead because when the first of the year gets here, rather than being that person saying that I'm going to start now, go ahead and be in shape ahead of time. So when the new year is here, you're already in shape.
Yeah.
And then, it's just like the person that's at the party, the Christmas party or whatever, and they see somebody that's in shape and they say, man, I got to start getting in shape. I got to start.
Yeah.
Go ahead and already start now. And then when that Christmas party's here or Thanksgiving's here or that New Year's party's here, then you're already that person that's in shape and other people are looking at you saying, I got to start, but you've already started ahead of time. So
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to think a little bit ahead, I think, with fitness, because sometimes it just takes some time to work off some pounds and stuff.
That's good. Yeah. The key is planning, organization, thinking ahead, having a plan. That's key. That's what it sounds like. Then moving forward, at the end of October, we've got Halloween, and you're a father, I'm a father. We could relate to this as dads, as parents, as being responsible parents. When you see, let me ask you this, because again, this could be a cultural thing. I'm from Korea, and I haven't seen anything like it till I moved to the States, but when you witness and observe Halloween, and you've got kids out there eating pillowcases full and trash bags full of chocolate candy,
Yeah.
what do you tell your clients who, are parents, have little ones, or maybe they're grandparents, they've got little grandkids, and they're going out trick-or-treating, and or, on the flip end, you've got clients who are going to their Halloween parties, and they're going to load up on their chocolates and Halloween desserts and all that kind of stuff. What's something that they can do as a preemptive strike to, hey, we know Halloween's coming up, but how do you watch them and then their kids and their grandkids? How do we combat that and make sure they're not taking too much sugar?
You mean for the kids or just our clients themselves in particular?
Everybody, yeah, all of the above.
Everybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think what it kind of may boil down to is if you have fitness goals of some sort or health goals, you need to sort of realize that what is your priority? Mm-hmm. Do you want to make health and fitness a priority? Or do you want to be the person that, like, once again, I'm saying it's going to say that I'm going to start or I need to start.
Yeah.
Hindsight after you've ate the pillowcase full of candy and everything. So I just say, what is your priority? And I think, like you're saying, just be aware ahead of time that Halloween is coming up.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a temptation to eat the candy possibly. So just be prepared ahead of time and have your mindset ahead of time before it sneaks up on you.
Yeah. That's good.
I
agree. Much agree, because what I witness, I just see that there's just too much sugar and candy. I shouldn't be talking. I got a sweet tooth. I'll eat candy, chocolate here and there. But when I witness that for Halloween, I see these kids just gobbling down, pounds of candy and chocolate. It just seems like, again, as a father, I can't let that happen to my little one, and I'm going to do everything I can to try to disassociate that need of, well, it's Halloween, so I need to eat all the candy as possible. There's got to be something we can do to change that. But I think what you said about reiterating planning ahead, knowing that it's around the corner, that is important and vital. Okay, then moving on in the season, November, Thanksgiving, that's what we think about. So that is the most traveled holiday in the United States year after year, because people are getting together. What do they like to do? They love to feast, because it's time to pig out and eat as much as they can. Thanksgiving is almost like a contest. Like, well, yeah, you only ate 2 turkeys last year, right? So with that said, Thanksgiving, they've got all the dressings and all the everything on the table. When you see that, and let's say that you're with family, because everybody is watching, they're with family and friends and close ones. Does the personal trainer side of you come into play, and do you tell your family and friends, like, hey, why don't you start with a salad, or do you just totally block that out, and are you just non-trainer and, hey, I'm not going to be judgmental, to each their own? I'm just asking personally because I'm just kind of curious, because I think everybody is just different. There's no right or wrong way. I just want to see what your perspective on that is.
Yeah, pretty much on a family get together. I kind of leave the personal trainer thing out of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless somebody were to ask me for some advice or
Yes.
something like that, or make a comment.
Right.
But I guess generally speaking, the idea is, for me to be in the best shape that I can be in.
Yeah.
It's challenging for sure, no doubt about it. I do believe in enjoying yourself every once in a while. I think it's good to, mentally do that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think physically it's good to enjoy yourself like that. But it sounds like what you're saying is how can you discipline it so much to where things don't just get out of control, basically.
Right. Yeah.
And I agree with what we were just talking about was just kind of planning ahead. And then I think it's not only knowing that these things are coming up, but it's also having a mindset prepared. How can I basically control this, especially if you have a sweet tooth, like you said you have, I have the same. How can you sort of get a mindset? And something I've always, I try to do, I don't always stick to it, but I remember the feeling of after I binge out on some junk food, I say to myself afterward, like, why did I do that? Like, man, like all I had to do was mentally beat this thing for like 10 seconds or whatever,
Right.
And so what I try to do sometimes is remind myself of that feeling before, eat the junk food or whatever. And I say, do I really want to have that feeling afterwards of regret? And, so I think it's just probably so much of a mental challenge. If you can prepare your mind ahead of time and say, how do I want to feel after this Thanksgiving dinner or this Halloween episode? How do I want to feel? Do I want to feel I'm one step closer to being lean and trim, or do I want to feel like I took 2 steps backwards? So whatever it takes for the individual, I think, to I don't want to say trick themselves, but whatever it takes for them to motivate themselves. But I think thinking ahead in one way or another is critical. You have to sort of think and say, these days are coming up, and the candy's coming up, and the dinners are coming up, and we have to be prepared ahead of time.
Yeah.
So,
well,
and I think it does, also, like I said, the first of the year will be there. So let your body be ready instead of starting late. Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes sense. Just be as prepared as you can. Absolutely. And I laugh because in November also there's it's almost a 5K, not quite. I think it might be a little bit more actually, but it's have you heard of the Krispy Kreme Donut Challenge? Does that sound familiar?
No, not at all. No.
Yeah, so the Krispy Kreme Donut Race is something that my father and I did, and this was over in he lives in Huntsville, Alabama, but I think they do this nationwide. I think they do this in Atlanta, Georgia as well, but anybody watching who not familiar with it, basically you're at a starting point, and it's sponsored by Krispy Kreme, and you run 2 miles to the Krispy Kreme donut store where they give you a box, a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts, and you're supposed to eat all 12 of them and then run back the other 2 miles to where you started from, which is essentially the finish line, and you have to do all that under 1 hour. And my father, who's in his 60s, was actually able to do it. He completed it. He ate all 12 and ran it back in an hour. Personally, I couldn't do it because of what you just said. You reminded me. When I ate the first, believe me, I can eat probably a dozen Krispy Kremes easily. But just the fact that I was running out there and I ate the first 2, and I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I'm setting a bad example. And I don't know. It's not so much I can't turn the personal trainer mindset off, but it's the fact that, okay, I just burned X amount of calories. Now I just ate 2 donuts. I can't sit here and eat 10 more donuts because of how I'll feel. That's mainly why I didn't do it. So I threw the donuts down. I gave up. I ran back the other 2 miles, and I didn't do it. I mean, to his credit, he was able to do something I couldn't. And that was for me, it was all mental because, believe me, physically, I wanted to eat every single one of them up. Yeah, I mean, I would have done that probably with no problem if I wasn't thinking about it too much. But yeah, so anybody who's watching that, you can look up Krispy Kreme Donut Race. And do they have Krispy Kremes down where you're at?
I know in North Florida, my daughter, where she goes to school up in Gainesville, they have Krispy Kreme up there.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever seen any down here where I live. But I mean, they have like little convenience stores that carry Krispy Kreme donuts, but it's not like a Krispy Kreme store or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, the big thing with the Krispy Kreme stores, they have them a lot in here in Atlanta. They have the flashing sign that says "Hot Now," so that's how you know they're
Oh,
like just
yeah.
prepared.
Gotcha.
It's amazing. And I'll tell you what, knowing what I know now that you guys don't have that down there, I just thought of a business venture. You and I need to go half in and invest and open up a Krispy Kreme Hot Now store down in Stuart, Florida. It would do really well. And the reason why I say that is because what we could do, I'm thinking about this long term, we can open that store up, get everybody to come in there and chow down on Krispy Kremes, and then hand our business cards out to them. Say, hey, if you want to burn that off or lose some weight, and then we'll just have it as a revolving door. We'll have them come back to the donut store, and then we'll personal train them. We need to look into that.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so this is great. So we've made it all the way to the end of the year, December, right before the new year, and what have you, whatever holidays there are. You've got Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I'm not going to name them all, but or some people don't celebrate any of those. That's fine. But we got the Christmas season, the holiday season, we guess we could say. And so no matter who anybody is, they're going to be going to parties, holiday parties, Christmas parties, and they're going to be getting together with people. And similarly to Thanksgiving, rather, it's very much the same because people are getting together. And again, what's the thing to do? Sit down, watch football, and eat. And potato chips, snacks, bad food. Very rarely do you ever hear about groups getting together and saying, hey, we're going to have a salad party. Come on over.
Yeah,
We're watching a football game, a salad party for Christmas or what have you.
Right.
So same question, I guess, as we get to that, Christmas season and it's the end of the year. And again, I know you hear this a lot. If your clients or potential clients or members at that gym are just saying, yeah, Shaun, I'm checked out the last 2 weeks. I'll see you in the new year. We're going to hit it hard. We're going to start January 1. What's the last resort that you've got to say? What's the last thing that you've got as last opportunity to get through to them that's not the attitude to have?
Yeah, it's a tough thing being a trainer because you don't want to seem like pushy either,
Yeah.
But sometimes, and it's just not in my nature to do that. I certainly don't want to come off to my clients as if I'm a pushy person.
Yeah.
I understand they have a life outside the gym, and I have to respect that. I'm just thankful for the business a lot of times,
Oh, yeah,
and but at the end of the day, maybe it's good for them if there's not a legitimate reason for them to take that time off.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the best thing would be to just try to get them to see the picture of the hard-earned money they're spending for training. If they're working with a trainer, they're spending their hard-earned money, blood, sweat, and tears, if you will.
Yeah.
And why put all of that money, time, effort into chasing a goal and then turn around and take 2 steps backwards? Mm-hmm. Why prolong reaching your goal? Why move 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards? Why do anything like that unless it's absolutely mandatory? Mm-hmm. If you have to take the time off, then you have to. But if you're doing it just for the sake of because it's fall and you're trying to take a chill, it's probably best for you and I as trainers to say, why don't you just push through this and try to, get closer to your goal, because New Year's is, there's something right around the corner. There's that Christmas party or there's New Year's, and you can hit, those 2 things lean and mean, or you can be the I got to start again type of person. So what person do you want to be? And but I just think people need to really push through these times. Mm-hmm. And that could be the difference between them reaching their goal or not reaching their goal. That could be the difference between them being thin or having excess body fat. So I just think those are the times you have to push through. Sometimes when you feel like quitting or taking a break, push through those times. And then one way that the time's going to pass either way, mm-hmm. whether if you're working out or not. But why not look back on those 2 weeks or 3 weeks and say, I pushed through it and I worked out and now I'm closer to my goal. So I think it's critical to stay on it, like you're saying, and just get right through there and get through the holidays. Yeah.
Very well said, Shaun. Time management, and we own our own time. I was just talking to fellow colleagues earlier this week about that we are our own master of what we choose to do with our time. That's something we have control over, and I couldn't agree with you more on that one. And what you said earlier, too, a few minutes ago, I like what you said, that we don't have to, and I'm similar to you, too. A lot of people will say that I'm a nice guy. I won't actively be aggressive to a client and say, what are you doing, going to McDonald's? I'll be more of the type that'll wait for them to say, hey, Tarryn, do you think I should go to McDonald's, or is there a better option today? And then that's when I'm like, aha, great. I jump on that. I'm just like, I love when I get asked, because it's flattering, but it's also they know our professional opinion of, and accountability. I know they probably know that they shouldn't be going to McDonald's, but they're probably asking us, like Shaun, Tarryn. They want us to tell them to keep them in check and hold them accountable. Like you said, keep them motivated. That's exactly what you were saying earlier. So I think you touched upon that just brilliantly. So this video blog has been wonderful. Your answers were just very, very good. They're dead on, very direct. I think anybody who watches this, we should take this video and forward it to all of our clients and all of their friends right now, because that way we could say, hey, this is the Fall into Fitness video blog. Listen to Shaun's answers on how preventative maintenance. Let's hit it hard before January 1, and let's plan ahead, and let's get on that start today versus start later on. I love it. This is great, Shaun. Good stuff. Like always, I really enjoy talking to you, and you're just a masterful fitness professional. Love to hear your advice and suggestions and tips. Before I let you go, if you got a couple more minutes, please, if anybody's watching out there, could you please plug Tequesta Fitness and also tell the folks the best way to get in touch directly with you?
Yeah, Tequesta Fitness in Tequesta, Florida. We're just north of West Palm Beach, and it's a small almost like a private type of gym. It's open to the public, but it's a lot different than the Gold's Gym, where there's a lot of bodybuilders and stuff like that.
Right.
And so it's just kind of small, laid back, and a very nice place to train. Tony Yanuzzi knows it very well.
Yeah. And say hi to Tony. Definitely. If he's watching.
Hi to Tony.
There you go.
And so pretty much, I can be found in there at Tequesta Fitness, and you can read my bio on tequestafitness.com. And also, I can be reached via email, peacefulwarrior8, the number 8, at bellsouth.net. And that's pretty much about it. So that's like the best way. Or my cell phone, 772-341-0834. And I'm open for training or consultations. And that's pretty much it, Tarryn. So it's good to hear from you again and everything too. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, Shaun, love having you on here, and let's have you back. And next month, let's see how that falling into fitness is working with both of our clients, and see how that's going. That'll be great. Well, again, Shaun, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the week with your family, and we'll talk to you soon.
Likewise. Take care, Tarryn.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody, there you have it. Shaun George from Stuart, Florida, and love having that guy here on GoTarryn TV. He is just an awesome guy, and every time we have him on these video blogs, he just says it as it is. I feel like I'm almost interviewing myself because he's on point, and he's telling you accountability, motivation, planning, organization, time management. You heard everything that he talked about right here on our Fall into Fitness theme video blog. So I couldn't think of a better guy than that gentleman right there to interview. So Shaun, thank you again for your time. You keep up the great work, and you hold things down there in Stuart, Florida for us. And I can't wait to hopefully see you in person one day so I could physically shake your hand and visit the Tequesta Fitness Center. That'll do it for today's video blog, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I'd also like to encourage everyone else to check out the ticker down at the bottom right there and do all of the following. Like GoTarryn Facebook, subscribe to GoTarryn on YouTube, and follow GoTarryn on Twitter. That way you'll stay connected with Tarryn the Traveling Trainer of GoTarryn Personal Training, who tells each and every one of you that it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll see you in the next video blog, everybody. Bye-bye.